We're heading into the pointy end of the season. There are 2 rounds left of the home and away season, and the rumor mills for trades and contracts are just going nuts, like we always know when it's coming around to this end of the season. Now, there have been mumblings that a couple, or actually more than a couple of St Kilda players are unhappy with the regime at the moment and wanting to get out of St Kilda. Cal Wilkie and Marcus Windhager are 2 names that stick out to me from the players that are rumoured to be wanting to leave. In this video, we're going to dive into them, see how they fit into the Pies. How can we get them? Is it all a pipe dream? Let's talk about it. Now, as always, we take all of this stuff with a grain of salt, and I originally wasn't going to do this video until I heard Marcus Windhager's name chucked up in there, and, I thought Cal Wilkie would be an incredible get at Collingwood. Will it happen? Probably not, but we're going to look into it to see what we could do if he were to nominate Collingwood. So on SEN's The Run Home, the South Australian version, Rucci, so Michelangelo Rucci, came out and said that a bunch of St Kilda players are unhappy. One of them is Cal Wilkie, who is contracted until 2027, so 29-year-old contracted until 2027. He said that Nazaya Wanganeen-Malera will leave as well. He also mentioned that Marcus Windhager is unhappy with the current contract that the St Kilda have offered him, and they're apparently paying him unders, and not to be surprised if Collingwood are in the mix for him.
The interesting one is Marcus Windhager, who was in the news for all that moment where he pushes Dacos and finishes up with a fine. My understanding, he will seek greener pastures.
Yeah, well, he's been offered a 2-year deal from St Kilda and they've lowballed him enormously. Yes. He's a bona fide midfielder, not just a tagger.
And don't be surprised if Collingwood gets involved in that mix.
Now, Marcus Windhager is uncontracted at the end of this year, so you can make a play for him. It'll still cost you a trade, of course, but you don't have to compete with a contract like you would Cal Wilkie. So let's take a look at Cal Wilkie. He is an all-Australian key defender. He has had an incredible season. Just look at his numbers compared to Darcy Moore's this year. Just like you can just see all of the blue on Cal Wilkie's side that are just ranked him as elite. They're the same age. Cal Wilkie is a little bit shorter than Darcy Moore, but he plays like a tall key defender. He's won St Kilda's Best and Fairest, been in the top 10 numerous times, and he's just such a reliable one-on-one defender. In 2024, he lost only 6 of 48 one-on-one contests, which equate to 12.5% of the contested defenders, and he was ranked 3rd best in the AFL. In 2024, comparing it to Darcy Moore lost about 17.8%, which is 8 of 45. So still elite from Darcy, but Cal Wilkie was even more elite than that. Cal Wilkie is just more than a guy that will just like stop the ball, and he's just a one-on-one defender. He's an intercept marker. He's a rebounder. He can set up plays. He's got incredible leadership. I think there's even potential for him to be St Kilda's captain next year if he sticks around. So, there's a lot to like about him, and 17 other clubs would be asking the question. Apparently, he's already spoken to one club. You'd be silly not to ask the question if you hear these mumblings, and I'm sure, all clubs are doing that. One thing I love about Cal Wilkie compared to our defenders is just his reliability. He's played like 150 consecutive games. You look at like Howe and Frampton, Ruth McGuinness, even Darcy Moore at stages, all injured, and this guy is just playing game after game after game. Cal Wilkie definitely ticks all the boxes that you would want in a key defender, but would he come to the Pies? Probably not. Or not even probably not, definitely not. We are definitely after a key defender. That's why we're going after Jack Silvani, who I think is going to be an incredible get, and it's free agency. You don't have to trade or anything like that. To try and pry Cal Wilkie out would be so incredibly hard. He's probably going to go back home. I think Port Adelaide might be chasing him hard, or one of the Adelaide teams, because he is from Adelaide originally, if he was to sort of walk out. But I just don't see Cal Wilkie, who could potentially be a captain of St Kilda if Steele does leave like he is rumoured to, walking out on this club. So This is like a 0 out of 10 rumor. Collingwood's name hasn't even been mentioned, but I wanted to mention it because I would love for Collingwood to play absolutely hardball or try and play hardball to get Wilkie over. If he says that he doesn't want to play at St Kilda, would a future first do it for the Saints? Is that too much to pay for a 29, nearly 30-year-old key defender? Or is it something that, Collingwood would consider just to top up and, replace Jeremy Howe? Or are you guys happy with just going after Silvani? I'm in the business of making our team better at every cost we can get. There's no cost isn't a problem with draft picks and stuff. Obviously, it's how you get the draft picks in, but everyone should be in the business of making Collingwood better, and Cal Wilkie would be incredible. Won't happen, but it would be incredible. Now, the guy I did want to make this video about is Marcus Windhager. Now, he's had a career best season. He's doing a run with role. He's a bit of a chameleon. He can play multiple positions. He early against Sydney a few weeks ago, he picked up like 36 disposals, has had incredible games, and is probably in the St Kilda lineup. I think he's one of the most underrated from the outside looking in. I'm sure the Saints fans and the team rate him high. But apparently the Saints board and stuff don't rate him high enough because he's got an offer in front of him, which is apparently super undervalued, according to SEN and some other journos here and there. They've been reporting on this for a couple of months. Like I said, he's been in career best form, averaging 21 disposals, 3 clearances. He's only 22, 70 games under his belt, so he's played a lot of football. And I just feel like, I said it last time with Darcy Cameron, and I know he's signed, but like with where there's smoke, there has to be even a little bit of a fire. And for Michelangelo Rucci to mention Collingwood's name just kind of, it just interested me. It just piqued my interest a little bit because I know that, yes, we are getting older and we need some younger midfield guns coming in. And Windhager fits the bill so well. Pressure, uh, good running, can get his own ball, run with roll if you really want him to, because we know the famous Nick Dagos versus Marcus Windhager match earlier on in this season, and I'm sure if Windhager ever did come to the Pies, or he came to the Pies this offseason, there'd be a lot of Collingwood supporters deleting tweets or comments on Facebook or Instagram or things like that. What I like about Windhager's game, it's something that we haven't had for um, maybe I reckon a couple of years, where it's just like this bull in the midfield. And I know we've got like Ned Long in there, Tom Mitchell. We don't know how long he's going to go for. Jordan De Goey is coming back, but how long can Jordan De Goey's body hold up? And when you take those guys out, who's the next big bull that we sort of have in there? Bo McCreary, if he stays, because Gold Coast are apparently offering him 3 years or something crazy like that. Bo could definitely be that player. Marcus Windhager, I feel like, is that sort of Braden Maynard-esque bull, but in the midfield, and a defensive-minded midfielder that can get his own ball, get his own clearances, but also, if we need him to do a negating role, can do that really well. And that's definitely someone that we haven't had in a very, very long time. But look, the bottom line is, even if Windhager does want to come to Collingwood and nominates Collingwood, how does he get here? We don't have any sort of big picks in the draft this year. We know that we need draft points for at least one father-son and 2 NGA prospects in the draft. It could even be another NGA. So we need a lot of picks for this season. We do have picks for next season, obviously. So we are able to trade next season's picks. Is Windhager worth a first-round draft pick? I know I floated that with Cal Wilkie as well. But is that a future first, or is it a future second, or is it a player and a future second? Do we see someone like Finn McRae go over if he needs, it needs a new lease on life, goes and plays with his brother for a year or something like that? Could that satisfy St Kilda? So it's all well and good to be linked to so many players, and I know what the comments are going to say already. Oh, who isn't Collingwood linked to? Who isn't Collingwood linked to? I know Collingwood sell papers. Collingwood gets clicks. I'm doing these videos because I think that these players would benefit Collingwood if it's, some sort of guy that's only played like 2 games and stuff, he's probably not going to get a video, right? But these guys are big names, and why not? If you're trying to contend all the time and you want to get better, you got to go for these big fish. And you know, these players fit the bill. Cal Wilkie probably is not going to be gettable at all. Windhager, teetering, right? And we know players come for uncontracted players. Teams come for uncontracted players all the time. We've seen it with players from our team. We see Gold Coast apparently going for Bowman Creary, who's still got 2 years left in his contract. So it's not unprecedented. And I know that the team will be doing their due diligence 100%. But I would love to see Windhager in the black and white. I think it'd be absolutely thrilling to see him line up next to Nick Dacos, not opposed to Nick Dacos. But the bottom line is, are these the sort of players that you're after? Could we get either of them to the club? And are you ready for a trillion trade rumors coming up? Because silly season is nearly upon us. And as soon as 10 of these teams finish their home and away season and we start delisting players and stuff like this, it's going to get crazy. It's going to absolutely get crazy. You know Collingwood's name's going to be thrown around, so it's going to be pretty exciting. Get all your news here or over on Instagram, Swoop Luke. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. You like my new sheets? I'll swoop you later.